and Mixed Martial Arts Commission. Today is September 10th, 2019, and the time is 10 a.m. Would those commissioners that are in attendance please identify themselves and state as to whether they're here via telephone or in person?
This is Joe Pennington. I'm participating by telephone.
This is Scott Peters, and I'm participating by telephone as well.
And I'm Scott Fletcher. I, too, am on the telephone. Item B is our new business. Pursuant to ARS Section 5-224F, the approval of the 2019 three-year intergovernmental agreement with the Gila River Indian Community and Gila River Gaming Enterprise. Mr. Manassas.
Yes, sir. So attached to your packet, you have the signed resolution from the Gila River Indian Community allowing the Gila River Gaming Enterprise to enter into this three-year intergovernmental agreement with us to continue to do events out in Gila River. Everything they turned in meets the satisfaction of the AG's office and ours, as well as their attorneys. So I would recommend the commission direct me to sign this and enter us into this agreement.
Very good. Congratulations. They're a great partner, and we're looking forward to another 3 years with them. So I really appreciate all your work and time on this.
Yeah.
Commissioners, thoughts, questions, motions? What do you have?
Mr. Chairman, I just want to second your comments about getting this IGA done. It is very important, and I really appreciate Mr. Manassas and everybody else that's been involved in getting this to where it is now.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Commissioner Peters?
I agree with you guys. I'd be, Mr. Chair, would you be open to a motion?
Absolutely.
Great. Pursuant to ARS 5-224F, I move that we approve the 2019 three-year intergovernmental agreement, IGA agreement with the Gila River Indian Community and Gila River Gaming Enterprise, and authorize Mr. Manassas to sign that agreement.
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Carlo, do you want to take a roll on that?
Yeah, I'll take a roll on that. Scott Peters.
Aye.
Joe Pennington.
Aye.
Scott Fletcher.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you, Carlo. That's terrific. Great job, everybody. Looking forward to it. Let's press on. C is executive session. That'd be tricky with all of us on the phone. I don't see a reason for that. Let's continue down to D, the call to the commission. Commission members wishing to ask questions or make comments must be recognized by the chair. Gentlemen, any thoughts?
I have none.
Mr. Chairman, I have none.
I'll just quickly update you. Sorry, go ahead.
Yes.
Carla will send out today.
I was going to ask. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, Francisco.
All right, Carla will send out today the final details for Thunderbolts for this weekend. I know that some of you guys were going to try to make it up to Westworld. It will be in the Equidome. I did a tour of it last week with the promoter and got everything laid out and did a nice little walkthrough. It's pretty nice. It's going to be where all the dirt is in the center. However, they're putting, I guess, carpet down on top of the dirt. It's going to cover a majority of it. There will be some exposed dirt, but they are looking at having a pretty full house from what they're anticipating. They haven't given me exact numbers yet, but they are anticipating a pretty full house, and they have quite a lot of seating. And we did verify
Okay,
the
very
TV
good. That
too.
was my question. Francisco, what does the card look like? I know there are some challenges in matchmaking wise.
Yeah, I think the biggest challenges were the fights that Sweet Science was partnering. I had talked to you guys previously about the fight for Carvajal. They were trying to make it a world title belt with an opponent. They suggested to us somebody who had a completely upside down record. That person ultimately we didn't have to decide on because we caught that they should have been medically suspended from their last bout. So I was able to call California, have them double check that, and they medically suspended him, and that made that guy ineligible anyways. So the next fighter they put forward is a Filipino who is 5'5", whose record is 32-9, so a lot better. And Keenan is 18-1-1, I believe, or 18-0-1. And so I think this fighter, we have a lot better expectations of how this battle will go with a 32-9.
Okay, terrific. I really appreciate you pursuing that. You know, there's a lot of water under this bridge. We've been here before, so we have to keep an eye on things like that. But it sounds like you found a reasonable match for young Mr. Carbajal. Tell me about the heavyweights. Are there 5 heavyweight fights on this card?
So I think there's a total of 7 bouts right now. 7, and then 1 is Keenan's fight, and then 1, I believe, is a cruiser, and then the other 5, should all be heavyweights. And all of them are looking pretty good. One of them is a former world title holder, the Mr. Sergey Lakhnik, who you guys reviewed and approved as an overage fighter last week. He's a former world title holder who fought the current world title holder, Mr. Andy Ruiz, a couple years ago. So that should be a pretty interesting fight. And Mr. Damian Wills, who's coming out of Vegas, also should have a pretty good, interesting fight. He's the one that we also watched spar, and you guys also reviewed and approved. So those would be those are the 2 ones that I've actually seen in person. Those would be interesting fights. The other ones, I believe, are all traveling in from out of state.
Gotcha. Okay, great. Well, nice job pulling that together. I was concerned about people talking about heavyweight only cards. That's tricky, no doubt. So it sounds great. What time? Any idea?
They did see that it was a little difficult to try to get that heavyweight card from all local fighters. I think that was their goal, is to save costs, try to do local fighters. So we'll see how their card goes going forward, if they stick to doing heavyweight fight only, and they're going to continue to travel people from outside of the state, or if they're maybe going to open up a little bit. The first bout is scheduled for 5 p.m. right now, and so we should be there. We will be there between 3 and 3:30 to get the pre-fight physicals done and finish getting set up and everything, and then first bout at 5 o'clock, we'll be walking for the first. It's going to be broadcast on, I think I sent it to you guys, it's Fight TV, FITE.
Yes, we did see that. Or I did at the very least.
Yes, you did.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna make a point in getting out there. Commissioners, are you gonna have a chance to get to that one?
Yeah, we certainly plan to, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, good. Good.
And
We'll have
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Meneses,
Sure.
how many rounds are most of these fights?
I believe your heavyweights are all set right now at 10. There's a couple, I think 1 6-rounder, 1 8-rounder, and I think like 4 10-rounders. I don't think anything is 4 rounders.
Okay.
I think it's all 6, 8, and 10. No 12s.
All right. So it should be a pretty professional event then.
Yeah. I mean, it's the work they're putting into it and doing the walkthrough with them, the quality. It sounds like it's going to be a really nice quality event. I'm just curious, looking at it from last week where nothing was in there other than the stationary seats and the dirt. I'm just curious how it's all going to come together. So we'll have to see on Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon when we get there how much they brought in. One thing I just didn't like is they don't have a whole lot of room for dressing rooms. So one corner, the red corner, is getting a pretty nice dressing room, which is like the VIP suite up above, and then they are making a dressing room for the blue corner. So I'm curious to see how that's going to look, because it sounds like it's kind of a pop-up, kind of a throw-up area. So curious to see how that'll end up looking, but nonetheless, we'll still have a good time at the event.
Very good. One question, if I may, Mr. Meneses. Is this an open-air arena? Is there air conditioning, or is it just a domed horse arena?
I don't know if it's actual true air conditioning or if it's a swamp cooler, but I'll tell you that when we were in there last week, midday, it was pretty hot outside, and it felt comfortable. I wouldn't say cold, but it felt comfortable inside the venue. And with this starting a little more in the evening, I don't know how the rest of the week's looking, but today is actually a really nice day outside, other than the humidity, but it's pretty nice and cool outside. So hopefully it'll not be too bad. But yeah, we'll have to see. They luckily don't have like an area where they have like a giant open door letting all the air out. It's all individual glass doors. So hopefully, if they keep those closed, it'll keep the rooms pretty cool. The one dressing room does have, I think, its own individual AC unit, and that was the coldest area where the red's going to be. With blue being out in the open, we'll have to see how that is.
Okay, thank you. Commissioners, any other thoughts or questions?
None here.
Okay.
None here, Mr. Chairman.
Seeing none.
Hey, before we move on,
Let's
if I
head
can
off
just-
to the
if I
call
can
to the
just-
public.
Before you
Yeah.
move on, if I can
Yes, go ahead.
just quickly clarify. So if you guys haven't been there yet when you get to Westworld, the front area closest to the 101, that is the giant tent, and it's behind that. The Equidome is behind that. So when you go down that road, you're just going to keep winding all the way back. And it's almost like a copper-looking kind of building in the back right corner. So we'll try to put some clarifying directions, and if I can pull up a map, I'll get one on the email so you guys can see that.
Hey, sorry to interrupt you guys, but I do have a question. Is there going to be air conditioning?
So it's I can't answer if it was actually air conditioning or not. I know that when I was there last week, it was cool inside. Looking at the way that the exposed vents are, I think that looks like almost like a swamp cooler. But like I said, it didn't feel too warm, and I usually run pretty warm. And so I wasn't uncomfortable while I was in there. It was definitely colder in the one dressing room, but overall in the venue, I think it should be pretty good. And by the time it starts, it should be cooling down a little bit, so it should be okay.
Okay, gotcha. Some of us are a little large, wearing suits out there, so.
That's why I wanted to know too. So that's always my number one
Time for
concern.
that three-piece wool suit.
It's always my concern. We did.
Well,
we
it
had
sounds like an interesting event.
when we had the Parker event back in May for King of the Cage, they surprised us with doing the event in their outdoor amphitheater. So outside in Parker, very close to Lake Havasu, in May, in a suit, on the river with bugs and everything flying everywhere and in your eyes and your face. It was not the ideal situation, so we're going to avoid that as much as possible.
You love that commission pull-up right about it.
Yeah. And we need to have the commission authorize a portable AC I can bring around with me.
Okay, very good. Mr. Meneses, anyone there from the public who would have an interest in chatting with us?
Nobody wants to talk to you guys. No one is here. They
I know
skipped
they're
out.
afraid of us. We're a fearsome group, aren't we?
Yeah.
Well, that scratches call to the public and leads to F, an announcement that the next regularly scheduled commission meeting will be at 10 a.m. on Wednesday, October 9th, 2019. And that leads us towards a possibility of an adjournment.
Mr. Chairman, I move
Mr. Chairman, I move we adjourn. Mr.
I'm going
Chairman,
to
I second the
accept
motion.
Commissioner Peters and your second, Commissioner. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you all for your time, and looking forward to this event this weekend. This should be interesting.
Awesome.
Yeah, we'll see you guys there.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you guys
Okay.
there. All right.
Thank you, guys.
Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.